Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 14, Episode 15. The orange doesn't fall far from the tree. Okay, so this episode opens up at Kelly's apartment and Dr. Brian Regan comes over. Hi honey, I'm home. Oh. Then he proceeds to make fun of her turban, which kind of get. I mean, it looks cute on her, but according to Kelly, it's all over the runways and it's the latest and greatest thing ever invented. It's not, but okay. Then Emily comes in. Kelly brings up Tamra. It's funny now because Kelly is as zeroed in on Tamra as she used to be on Vicky. Not that it's wrong to be on Tamra's case because Tamra deserves it, but I think the problem is now she's not listening to anybody else about anything else. Because Kelly said something about Tamra bringing up the fight that she had with Dr. Brian Regan. And Emily said, well, actually that was Shannon that brought that up at the table. And it was. You can kind of blame Tamra for that because Tamra gossiped about it to Shannon and Vicky in the car earlier. But I don't think Tamra was going to tell everybody at the table. I don't know, maybe she would have gotten around to it. Maybe, the cynical side of me thinks that she planned it with Shannon to bring it up at the table so that Shannon could be her fall guy. I don't know. But the reality is Shannon is the one who first said at the tea party, Kelly was in a bar fight. Then Kelly brings up the train rumor and saying that, and all along I was blaming Vicky when it was Tamra that brought up the train rumor. Well, Vicky was kind of behind that. Tamra wouldn't have had the opening to bring it up if Vicky hadn't first said, I know something more about her that's even worse than the cocaine. So, I don't know. Maybe I feel the way I feel because I still like Shannon. I just do. I think she's goofy and kooky and insane for sure. But I'm entertained by her, and Vicky and Tamra are sparking less joy in my life. I think Marie Kondo would have me discard them. Now we're at a restaurant with Tamra and Gina. Bravo gave us this very weird shot of in the foreground is Gina's profile and then Tamra's walking up in the distance, but it's such an odd I don't know if they're trying to be artistic or what, but it was just a weird, extremely close profile of Gina. Anyway, so she asks her how her trip was to Scottsdale with Eddie. And she said, well, the first part of it was great and then it was terrible. And she's like, why? And she said, well, because, the first day we went hiking and all that was great. And then I was thinking, I haven't heard from Shannon at all. Then I got this huge, long, nasty text from Kelly. I'm paranoid. What did I do wrong? It's going to be a long list, Tamra. So Gina said, yeah, well, I had lunch with Shannon a couple of days ago, and she had a lot to say about you. Okay, so now we get a little flashback to a never-before-seen lunch between Shannon and Gina. So in this flashback, it was basically Shannon filling Gina in on that, eye-opening dinner that Shannon had with Kelly, Emily, and Bronwyn when Kelly was telling all the things that Tamra said about Shannon behind her back. So Shannon is now repeating those things to Gina. She said that I didn't need to go to the ER because nothing was really wrong with me and that next time we go on a big trip, I want to share a room with Gina and Kelly. And I said, what about me? And she said, no, not you. And Gina goes, yeah, I remember that. So Shannon's not saying anything that isn't true then. I'm not sure what Shannon has done wrong. Other than gossip about it, but she was hurt. Okay. Okay, So we're jumping back and forth, I guess, from the restaurant with Gina and Tamra back to Kelly's house with Dr. Brian Regan and Emily. Now we're at Kelly's, and Emily says to her, so does Tamra know you're mad at her? And Kelly goes, oh yeah, because I threatened her over text. I mean, I'm sure you did. So Emily said, did Tamra text you back? And Kelly said, yeah. She's like, oh, you're talking about me? And I said, yep. So flashback to Gina and Tamra is now reading the text, and we see what Kelly had said. You bring my shit up, and it's bullshit. It's not even true. I've had your back. So you want to play your games? It's on, girl. And Gina goes, yeah, so then what did Shannon say to Kelly to make her feel that way? And Tamra goes, bingo. All right, I see what's happening here. Shannon is going to get thrown under the bus. We were all there last week, guys. It was Kelly informing Shannon on a whole bunch of stuff that Shannon did not know about. This one's not on Shannon. Anyway, Tamra talks about how she's got all this other stuff going on in her life because, Ryan is, Ryan. And her daughter, Sophie, went with Simon to go see her older daughter, Sydney, the one that won't talk to her, who is away at college. And Tamra said, I should be there. I should be there too. And it's a lot. There's a lot going on. Gina's like, yeah, you shouldn't be going through this right now. And she said, then what should I do? Gina told her, you need to talk to Shannon. In Tamra's confessional, she's like, if I were to ice out Shannon while she was going through all this stuff, she would be screaming at me. Yet she's not talking to me. She's acting like, oh, she's too busy and everything. I mean, we know what's going on with Shannon. She just found out that Tamra was saying a whole bunch of stuff about her behind her back. And now Tamra calls while she's on her vacation, and Shannon's thinking, I don't want to talk to you right now. I get it. Okay, this next little segment is about college freshmen. And we've got Bronwyn and Sean, and they're taking their oldest child, Bella, to her freshman orientation. And then we're cutting back and forth with Shannon and Sophie, who is meeting with a college counselor for the first time. Shannon said that it costs thousands of dollars for a college counselor. I never heard of that before. Have you guys? I mean, my daughter spoke with like a college counselor in high school, but like one at the high school is nothing that we had to like pay for. So maybe it's different in Orange County or California in general. I don't know, but that's kind of scary that it costs thousands of dollars just for a counselor. That doesn't seem right. When Sophie is talking to the college counselor, she's telling her, well, the counselor is saying that there are various things that all come into play in terms of getting into a good school. And one is the GPA, and Sophie's got a very strong GPA, which is a little over 4.0. And she said, but you need something that, like, your brand, something that makes you stand out. And Sophie said, well, I'm writing a book about what it's like to be the child of divorced parents. And then in Shannon's confessional, she goes, am I afraid to read Sophie's book? Yes. Am I afraid to hear about how I screwed up her life? Yes. But then in front of the counselor, Shannon's like, I mean, how many kids write a book? Isn't that great? And the girl's like, And Shannon goes, a lot? And she said, well, I think a lot of people have the idea to write a book, but not many follow through. So that's where she would stand out if she actually does write the book. Then to just round out the whole kid segment, we have Kelly and Jolie giving Kelly another bit of sage advice by telling her that usually people that hurt other people are hurt themselves. And Kelly's like, that's good advice. But it is good advice. And yet again, another child who falls into the category of how did this woman raise a child like this? Kelly and Teresa should get together and compare notes. How did we accidentally have these daughters? Okay, so this whole next scene is Tamra and Ryan in the therapy session with the psychotherapist. Ryan, I guess, had been seeing her, and this is the first time Tamra is joining them. And I watched this whole entire scene without stopping to talk to you guys about it because it was engrossing. I've got some issues with Ryan that are more about his presence on social media. So pushing all that aside, I would say this was a very good thing for him. Tamra getting him in to see somebody and getting help is a very good thing. He's got horrible self-esteem, a lack of self-worth. He had said a lot of things. He thinks he's a bad person. He doesn't think he's deserving. It was heartbreaking, really, to hear that about anybody. Yeah, I feel bad for him. I'm glad he's there. It was a tough scene. Ryan broke down and cried. Tamra's crying. It was a tough scene to watch, but it was also kind of good to see. Next, we are with Gina and her parents, and they're at the park, and the three of them are sitting on a park bench. Nick has gone off to play, and Gina's dad said, "So, how you doing? How are things?" And she goes, Good. Yeah, I think things are on the up and up, I don't think she knows what something on the up and up means. I think she meant to say things are looking up. Because then she went on to say that, Matt's looking for a job in Orange County. He really wants to try and get the family back together, like totally, like he's all in with this. And, he's being really good. Like he takes the kids shopping and he's doing like all that stuff. And then her mom asked, is he doing it for the right reasons? Or in other words, if he can't have you back in a romantic way, is he still going to be as good of a father? And, that kind of thing. And she goes, well, because he gets really jealous. Like, that's just the thing. He gets really jealous. And, I'm not afraid or anything, but, oh, guys, it was not good. And even her dad gave a little bit of a look, like just a tiny bit of a flinch. She tells her parents, I know that, I'm afraid, I'm not afraid of him, but I know that if I don't get back with him, he's never going to do that gracefully. That's not good. If even part of her thinking that she should try and make this work again is based on the fact that if she says no, he's not going to take it well, that is not good. Okay, so the conversation's going on and on with her mom and dad, and she says that she wants to set healthy boundaries with Matt, and she's not there yet. She also said that I want to get divorced either way, and then if we get back together again, that's fine. It'll feel more like a fresh start. Sounds expensive, but I kind of understand this sort of wanting to completely close a bad chapter and then, start a new one if it's right and start it in a different way. Like if she really is, like she said, Dr. Hottie, when she was dating him, that he's very polite and he's got a good sense of humor. And there are things that now as she's dating, she sees qualities in men that she will want going forward. In Matt, if it's Matt, so whatever. So she's like, but I have to set boundaries. That's what it is. I have to set boundaries. And then her son comes up and he goes, I don't understand what chinchillas are. And her dad goes, what do you mean? They're chinchillas. And he goes I don't understand what they are. And Gina, they're marsupials. And he walks away back to his friends. And her mom goes, I didn't know that. Are they? And Gina goes, I don't know. Oh my God. Good parenting. Okay, I just looked it up. Chinchillas are rodents. They are not marsupials. She just sent her son off with that incorrect knowledge that he will now carry with him until he may never learn otherwise. That's not good parenting, Gina. To just send him off. And then her mom's like, well, it sounded good. If it was right, it would have been a great thing for her to say. But it wasn't. You know, I love her parents to death, but her mom in particular, I think passed along some of her genes to Gina, if you know what I'm saying. But I don't like that. Don't teach children the wrong thing. Just say you don't know. How much better would it have been if she just said, I don't know. When we get home, let's look it up. Or, girl, you've got a phone in your hand. It took 2 seconds for me to look it up. Look it up, tell him what it is, and send him on his way. Damn, Eddie. Okay, the next scene is Tamra and Eddie in their kitchen, and she's telling him about the therapy session that she had with Ryan. And Eddie's just kind of quiet, normal Eddie stuff where, yeah, well, yeah. But then in his confessional, woo, Eddie, he's like, Tamara's a good mom to all of her kids. Some need to be coddled, some need to do this, some need a kick in the ass. And he said, when you're a man who's still dealing with childhood issues, you're not a man. You just need to get over it. To be fair, that was kind of my attitude a few weeks ago when Tamra first mentioned him going to therapy. I'm like, you're 34 years old. Stop comparing yourself to your siblings. Their life was different. Their father was in their life. Tamra was married to their father. They had 2 parents in their household, and their father set boundaries for them. Ryan was born when Tamra was 18 years old, and his father wasn't very present in his life. It's an unfortunate beginning, but there are plenty of people that came out of that same type of situation. For Ryan's own sake, he needs to get over it, figure it out, and move on. It felt a little harsh to me, Eddie saying that, because, we just had that scene at the therapist's office, and so I'm feeling a little bit like vulnerable for him, But I will say this, I think that is him getting over it. I think that is a first step toward growing up. He's working on himself, and he's going to move forward. Even if mommy's paying for it, it doesn't matter. He's doing it. He's realizing at least that he needs to make a change, if only for his daughter. This guy's got a kid. So, yeah. That scene ends with Tamra telling Eddie that she doesn't know what's going on with Shannon and Kelly, that Kelly went off on her with this nasty text and Shannon is ignoring her. She said, Kelly and I were fine when we left for vacation. And Eddie's like, so what would have prompted that? Bingo. What? You and Shannon were fine too when you left. So why are you coming to the conclusion that Shannon is the reason this all got blown up and not Kelly or somebody else altogether? Unless it's editing, it just seems so weird that everybody, Gina, Eddie, Tamra, that everyone's coming to the conclusion that Shannon is behind all this. There's got to be a reason. Okay, we are back from the break, and we are now at a restaurant with Emily and Bronwyn. Oh, okay, Kelly shows up now. So it's the 3 of them having lunch or, I don't know, shrimp cocktail and skinny spicy margaritas. And Kelly was talking about her mom. And Emily said, it's kind of like how it was with my mom. Would you ever reach out to her? And she said, she doesn't want to talk to me. Kelly doesn't understand why her mom won't even speak to her. And Bronwyn said, I can't even imagine not wanting to talk to one of my daughters. And Emily's like, just reach out to her. I think you just have to reach out to her because, if my sister called and said something, God forbid, happened to my mother, I would just lose it. And I think for your sake, you should do that. And she goes, it's scary though. I'm scared. I'm afraid of rejection, I guess. Anyway, if you remember, Emily's mom had been struggling with depression and Emily reached out to her. Finally, they had been estranged for years, I think, and got her into therapy and I assume on medication or whatever she needs for her depression. And it's been great, I guess. They are in contact regularly now. So I'm pretty sure, Emily's motivation is that it worked out well for me. She didn't have a relationship with her mom. She reached out to her. It worked out well. And I think she, would like the same for Kelly. And then Bronwyn, with the understatement of the year, mother-daughter relationships are complicated. And you ought to know. I mean, she keeps talking about, she said, I hope it's not like that with my kids. I'm not talking about you and your kids, Bronwyn. I'm talking about you and she who should not be named, Dr. Voldemort. Anyway, ultimately, what Bronwyn and Emily are telling Kelly is, listen, if your mother rejects you, if it goes sideways, that's on her. But at least you tried. That's all you can do. And she's like, thank you guys. That's really nice. You're a good friend. And, there's no drama here. You're good girls. And Emily's like, and I love you. So here's my problem. I'm having lunch tomorrow with Tamra and Vicky. And I'm afraid it's going to turn into a Kelly bashing session. And I don't want to go there. I think Bronwyn said, then tell him off. Now we flash over to a coffee shop. And Tamra is sitting there waiting for Shannon. Okay. So Shannon walks up, sits down. She's like, hi, how are you? And Tamra goes, terrible, thanks for asking. So what's going on? And she's like, well, why don't we just cut right to the chase? Why don't you tell me what this storm is all about? And then the server comes up and she orders, what else? The Housewives special. If it's not a skinny, spicy margarita, it's hot water with lemon. So that's what she orders. And she goes, I have the flu. Tamra, great. Oh, God. Tamra has taken on this persona. I don't know if it's like to catch Shannon off guard, but it's real super phony and it's very unsettling, especially for Shannon. Shannon goes, well, I was caught off guard by a lot of things that were said. Oh, really? What was said? By whom? Kelly was telling me a lot of things that you said about me behind my back. Tamra, really? Like what? Well, Kelly said she thinks that you faked being hurt in Arizona, which, Shannon, you did. And we all think you faked it. And then she retells how Tamra wanted just Kelly, her, and Gina to share a room next time, not Shannon. And Tamra's defense of that is, first of all, we were so drunk that night, we don't even know how we got home, which is not good. Yeah. But anyway, she's claiming they called Gina. I guess her point was like, you're mad about room assignment for a trip that isn't even happening. And she's like, okay, what else? So Shannon said, you said I'm getting fat. Tamra, when did I say that? Shannon goes, well, I don't know. And then Tamra goes, did you stick up for me? Well, at the beginning, Tamra. Tamra, oh, at the beginning, but not at the end? No, Tamra, not at the end, because it went on and on and on. Tamra is being so aggressive. Listen, there's no better defense than a good offense, right? She has decided I'm going to meet her and go on the attack. And that's how I am going to deflect, right, from any of the horrible things that I said being now out in the open. So Shannon said, well, she showed me a text message that you sent, making fun of me. And Tamra goes, it was nothing like that. I sent her a video. So now I'm understanding this a little bit better. That funny video of the woman getting hit in the courtroom, I thought Kelly sent it to Tamra. But no, Tamra's the one that sent that video to Kelly. And then Kelly said, is that Shannon? And Tamra replied with a laughing face. So Tamra kind of started that little thread. The idea that Tamra saw that video and thought it was funny and thought Kelly would get a kick out of it, a video of someone totally faking and overreacting to an injury, that's not great, Tamra. Tamra says, there's something missing here about all of this because Kelly and I were just fine. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. There's some sort of disconnect. Now we cut back to the lunch with Emily, Bronwyn, and Kelly. And Bronwyn says, I'm having dinner with Tamra tomorrow because I feel like every time she gets in trouble, she's like, oh, Bronwyn did it. And Kelly goes, she's a master manipulator at turning and twisting things. And Bronwyn goes, it's like a chess game of middle-aged women. And Kelly, God love her, Kelly goes, yeah, they're chess players and we're checkers. What? Emily does not like that. She's like, wait a minute. You're making them sound smarter than us. Can't we be the chess and they're the checkers? And she's like, no, because they're calculated. And, we're just... And Bronwyn goes, we're just having fun. Emily's like, you are the dumbest smart person I've ever met. Okay, so now we are back at the coffee house with Shannon and Tamra, and we come back to, Tamra saying, for Kelly to just flip like that, it makes no sense to me at all. And Shannon goes, well, I don't know. And Tamra goes, so she just walked in there and just thought she's just going to start trashing me? This light bulb goes off in Shannon, and she's like, are you trying to imply that I started something? But here's the thing. Why didn't Shannon just tell her what happened? The whole thing started because Bronwyn was defending herself to Kelly. After the little dinner with Shannon, Tamra, and Kelly, where they were basically throwing Bronwyn under the bus for talking trash behind Kelly's back. Remember, Kelly got Bronwyn on the phone and Bronwyn's like, I did not bring up the subject of Dr. Brian. So this was the first time Bronwyn was seeing Kelly in person, and she started to defend herself. And that's how the conversation got started between all of them comparing notes about Tamra. Why is Shannon acting like, well, I don't know why Kelly just flipped? Oh, also, Bronwyn told her that it was actually Tamra who brought up the word train. Why is Shannon not defending herself by saying all that? I don't know. That's why she's like, are you alluding that I brought something up? And Tamra goes, yeah, I think you're behind this. So Shannon is like understandably fired up right now. And she's like, no. I have been nothing but a good friend to you. That is her favorite line. That's actually kind of a housewife thing too, isn't it? Anyway, I have been nothing but a good friend to you, and if you are going to accuse me of orchestrating this whole thing, that is just not true. Tamra, okay, yeah, don't try to turn this all around. And she's like, don't you turn this around. I'm not taking this on. But it is so frustrating. Just tell her what happened. I find Tamra's behavior bizarre. Why she wants to pin it on Shannon seems strange to me. I know you guys all think that she's doing stuff to stay relevant and create drama. I mean, this is one of the first times that I think I can't see any other reason. It's just really weird that she would want to attack Shannon, seemingly out of nowhere. Tamra calls Shannon a puppet master. Like, she is just so deceitful and behind all this. Again, I keep going back to what would be the motive? Anyway, Shannon's like, puppet master? Really? And Tamra goes, yeah, because you're so calculating. So then Tamra goes, you didn't tell me about this for 5 days. That's why I'm upset. I guess that makes more sense than anything else. Shannon said you and Eddie were going to go have sex for 2 days. I wasn't going to F that up and have Eddie say, see, Shannon ruins everything just to tell you about all this like high school bullshit that's going on. So Tamra goes, so you didn't think that when Kelly sends me a nasty text that you could give me a heads up about that? And Shannon said, I didn't even know about a text. When did she text you? So Tamra goes, oh, and she reaches into her bag. I have a lot of text messages from Kelly. Oh my God. I thought she was going to get her phone. No. She printed them out. Shannon goes, oh, you printed them out? And she's like, yeah. And in case anybody's wondering how old these housewives are, the font is like a 24 point. It's so funny. I guess Shannon reads all the texts and she's like, oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that's bad. The only one we see, though, is the one that we saw before. And honestly, especially in the world of Kelly Dodd, that was pretty tame. So I'm not sure what we're not seeing. In any case, Tamra said, what did I do that was so bad? What were people telling her? What was Kelly being told? And Shannon said, maybe she was talking about the hand. Maybe that's what was wrong. And I said, yeah, Tamra told me about that. But you did tell me, so what's the big deal? They're referring to what may or may not be a lawsuit between Kelly and this woman who had her arm around Dr. Brian Regan. Kelly grabbed her arm, and now this woman is saying that she fractured her hand. So I think that's what Shannon's referring to now. And then she said, and then someone talked about the fact that you put the word train out there, and I said, I feel bad right now because I feel like it's Tamra trashing. And Tamra goes, so you guys are all blaming that on me? Is that what's happening? And Shannon goes, no, but it was said that you said the word train. And you guys know this is where I'm on Tamra's side. She said, oh my God, we're at the table and Vicky's going on and on about, oh my God, I have so much more information about Kelly. I know so much more about Kelly. And I go, train? I mean, that's it. That's all I said. She's right. Although saying train made it 10 times worse because people who had never heard of that, that's not something I would have even thought of when Vicky said, I know so much more about her. So I don't know. They're both wrong. Vicky and Tamra are to blame for that. Tamra goes, so does that mean I put it out there? And Shannon said, well, there are some people that could argue that. Okay, well, now it's clear that Shannon is not really Tamra's target. Tamra said, you know, if she wants to be mad about that, that's fine. I don't really care. But for her to try to get you mad at me now, that's bull. And Shannon said, yeah, it is. Shannon, but what about all the stuff she said about you? That's kind of bullshit too, right? Honest to God, I think the only way this Tres Amigas relationship works is if they had all made some sort of a pact to never learn about what each other says behind their backs. Yes, we're going to trash each other, but let's just not ask each other about it. And that way we can remain friends. Because that's about the size of it. How Shannon is ignoring the things that Kelly told her and even gave proof for. And now it's, oh yeah, Kelly's wrong to try and turn me against Tamra. Tamra just gets a pass for all those things she said about you behind your back, Shannon? That I don't get. It's funny how the body language is different now because now they're at the table. Both of them are leaning back, relaxed. You know, when Shannon first got there, they were both on the very edges of their seats and, you know, going at each other. Now it's calm and relaxed because, I don't know, I guess they're back to blaming Kelly for everything. Shannon, girl, I love you, but don't be this stupid. Now, Shannon has come to the conclusion after sitting here. Well, first, let me just say this. She said, so there's no truth to any of the things that Kelly said? Tamra, no. You didn't say any of those bad things about me? None of them. I mean, listen, I don't remember if I did. Wouldn't you remember if you said something bad about your friend? Like, how does that slip your mind? Shannon, is that not a red flag? I mean, whatever. Shannon said, so I'm at dinner with three ladies who the general consensus was that whenever there's drama, you're behind it. I'll tell you what, the fat comment, that really hurt and my eyes welled up, but I said I am not going to cry. And I didn't. Now that I am sitting here with my best friend, I'm starting to think that it is somebody else who's behind all the drama. Yes, it's your lying best friend and your other lying best friend. So Tamra has come to the conclusion that the person who's spreading all the rumors and is so toxic is Kelly Dodd because she's a better friend with Shannon than Kelly. And so it must be Kelly. She's damaged goods. Tamra is done with her. Kelly Dodd is playing a very dangerous game. Very. And that is where this episode ends. You know, very early in the season, Tamra was on Watch What Happens Live, and she was talking about Kelly, and it was kind of like, at that point in the show, I think they were still friends, and she said, yeah, just wait. You guys just have to watch. Just wait and see what Kelly does. And I kept waiting, and every single thing that Kelly did, I thought, oh, okay, this must be it, or this must be it. Now I think this is like the turning point. This is where Tracy Megas all turns against Kelly. But it's not like all of us at home can now definitively see where Kelly went wrong. I mean, Kelly goes wrong. Let's not kid ourselves. She says some really bad things. She's got a nasty, nasty mouth. But all in all, I don't think she is as devious. She gets super angry and foul-mouthed about stuff. But I don't, unless I'm not remembering, has she ever started a complete lie about somebody and like spread that rumor to kind of ruin them? Because that's what's been happening to Kelly. And not only does she have these horrible things said about her, but now she's being vilified, labeled as damaged goods. I'll take her side over Tamra's any day. Okay, that's it for this week. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I appreciate and love you guys so much. I love all your comments, so keep them coming. If you haven't yet subscribed to Jill Informed, please consider doing that. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked this particular video. I'll be back next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Hope you join me. Bye.